Okay, here we are. We are live. Thank you again, everyone, for showing up for another edition of RJ's Lives. We already have the chat room is blowing up, so this is fantastic. Let me introduce our panel this week. We have Dave from Singing Toad. We have Stephen from Patty's Potato Peelers, John from Thrifty Kniffy, and of course Tom from Knife Delights. He's really a superstar among us all because he's starting his own live streams and everything else. But I do have a special shout out for one of our viewers, Katie. If you're watching, I told everybody that you love our show, and everybody's really excited. And we're going to put together a little care package for you that'll be coming here in a week or so once we get all the mail sorted out. So just know that that's coming. We appreciate you watching. We're glad for all of our fans, and thank you. Mike Curtis is here. El Phoenix, fantastic that you're here. It's me, Marshall. Byron Kennedy is here. Everybody. So we just got a fantastic lineup today. And the topic was provided by Singing Toad himself. And he said he would like to see some knives that are have sentimental value or ones that we wouldn't get rid of out of our collection. And I'll let you start, Dave. I'll let you start with one or two, and then we'll just go around the panel.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Well, what am I going to start with? I guess I'll start with one that I don't think I've shown on my actual channel yet. I can't remember if I have or not, but this particular knife is nothing fancy. It is it's a very inexpensive, knife, generic knife. It's Chinese manufacturer, but it comes from. It was given to me from a friend that I used to work with a long time ago, and her boyfriend owns a company called Strachan Defense, and they specialize in making all kinds of things, but they make grenade launchers. Of all things, and it's a Canadian company, which is pretty wild to think that you can buy a grenade launcher in Canada.
Must be heck to get the license.
Yeah, I don't even know, to be honest with you, what's required. But I know that's what they specialize in, and they ship them around the world. But anyway, they do make knives and tomahawks and other things. And she gave this to me as a gift, just because she worked with me, and actually let me put it more in the center here, and I made friendship with her, and yeah, so this is just it's nothing special. I don't even know what the blade steel is. It's some type of stainless steel. It's just a basic liner lock, but it does have this really cool kind of like orangey black camo print, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Buck Bantam with the orangey camo print. That's what it sort of reminds me of. So again, this is just a generic knife, nothing fancy about it. It's not very expensive, and because it was a gift, it's one of these knives I'll never give away because of that reason. And one other one I'll quickly talk about while I have it here in front of me, and I'll just get this one out of the way because anyone who's watched the Singing Toad channel has seen this one before. It should come as no surprise. There it is, the Buck 119 Special, and this was the very first knife that was given to me by my father when I was 16 years old. Many moons ago, and it's been with me in the bush and on many camping and fishing and hunting trips, and I've done all kinds of daft things with it, and shockingly I've not managed to break this thing. And these knives are quite tough, actually. I'm not recommending you go and do dumb things with them, but they are quite tough. They can take quite a licking, and they can be had for not that much money. So if you don't own a Buck 119 in your collection, they're not hard to come by, and they're a great value knife. So that's all I have to say about that for now, and I'm just going to say howdy, folks, to everyone in the comments. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep, that's awesome. Hold on a second. I'm just getting a comment in there. But yeah, the 119 is one that's definitely on my list. I believe it or not, I don't have one.
So, I'm shocked.
Yes, sir.
I can fall in my chair.
Can you throw me a wrench and I'll try to fill in unless Mimo arrives?
Let me go over to YouTube and I can do that.
Patty, I'll try to keep up the best I can.
Do you want to go next, Patty?
Yes, certainly. Yeah. I've got a couple here.
Let me bring you up solo, and I'll go see if I can fix this for.
Oh, there you go. Hello, Katie. By the way, I'm so glad you're watching our program, and I hope you like knives. I hope you like knives. Get your daddy to get you a nice one. So, I've got sentimental ones that I've shown probably quite a few times. I've got this one I bought when my father passed away. My father didn't collect knives or keep knives. He had one in his toolbox, but that was about the extent of his knife collecting. So I decided I would buy one for him. And it was this. I just received a bit of money that we'd got from the sale of his house. And I bought this Hinderer in honor of him. And do you want to know something? As silly as it may seem, ever since I bought this knife and named it for him, I know it'll stay with me forever. But you see, when I take this knife out, I think of the happy times I had with my father. He had Alzheimer's in the end for a couple of years, and it was horrendous. As anybody who's gone through it will know, it's horrendous. But when I pick this up, I only think of the good times for whatever way it has worked in my head, and it's just invaluable. There's, money will not buy it. I don't know it wasn't his, but it just shows you can put sentimentality on something, even if you're buying it in place of somebody else. So I love this knife. And other sentimentals, my first custom knife from Ashley Harrison. This knife, I just adore. It will go nowhere because it was the first time that I had asked for a knife. I'd asked for all the specifics, like the cutaway, the blade steel, the size of the bolster, the color of the bone, and he made it for me. I gave him the specifics, and then I just let him run with it, and this is what he came up with, and I just adore it. So that's it. I'll give you one more before I'll hand it on to somebody else. This one here is probably one of the most sentimental, and again, I bought this for myself. This is the old Winchester Trapper, one of the most beautiful trappers. This is how a trapper is supposed to be in my mind. A big, solid 4-finger knife, like the old boys used to have. This is a replica of the same size as the early trappers. But what a great work knife. Absolutely love it. But on the back of it, it's stated this one was made in 1989, which I think meant Camillus made it. I think Camillus made it. But and 1989 was the year I got sober. So it was just lovely. I bought this because of that date. And again, that's a knife that, unless I go on the pub tonight after this will stay with me forever. But an absolutely beautiful knife. And it means something to me. So there you go. I'll pass on there, and somebody else can have a wee go.
We can definitely do that. Thank you so much. Is that trapper that you had? Is that 4 1/8 closed, or is that actually 5-inch closed? Do you remember?
This, I think it's. Let me just get it on here. It is about 4 1/2, somewhere around that.
So just a little bit bigger than a case trapper. Those are 4 1/8.
Yeah, I think this was the original size. I'm not sure of the big trapper. It's thick. The blade stock is really super thick. But it's what a well-made knife.
I love that one, and it's got the most beautiful spade blade of all.
The best. It's a peanut butter killer. It really is.
Exactly. Are you ready, John?
Sure.
Well, could I have a time for a quick question, RJ?
Certainly.
So when I want to highlight one of the comments, when I was in StreamYard, I just pressed on the comment and it popped in there.
Yeah.
But I can't do that.
I might have to do that. I think because if I go on a comment, it'll say. So
yeah, because
is there one that you want me to highlight?
Well, I did a welcome to Katie from the whole panel, and then I touched it up on the YouTube screen, but it didn't highlight it. So I don't know how I can.
There we go. I see it.
There.
Hey. Oh, it's gone.
So
sorry. I guess I
twice.
can't do that. Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. So one more task I'll have to do. Thanks, guys. So.
I tried.
And this is why I pay you as much as I do, Tom.
I know. I'll just try to keep up with the comments going here and welcoming everybody in.
If anybody sees any comments that need highlighting, be sure to let me know, and I will definitely highlight them. But yeah, Katie is a special viewer, so we're super glad that she's here. All right, John, we'll let you go and see what you got going on.
All right. Well, first up, since Katie is our special guest today, we're going to make sure she gets a TK sticker. I believe we're going to send out a whole packet of stickers from all the guys' channels at some point, but I just want to make sure you guys know I'm going to contribute a little sticker here for Katie, and so she can look forward to getting that sometime in the future. But we're talking about sentimental knives today, and I've got one from Buck. This is a Buck Solo. It has the bone scales, and it's just a single-bladed knife. Got the little clip point blade. Nothing super special in terms of the knife itself, though Tom might disagree since it's a Buck. But we have I have some sentimentality to this because this is my father-in-law's knife, and he handed it down to me. And my dad never carried a knife. He was an engineer. He had calipers. He didn't have knives. So that's what he carried. He carried a pin and calipers. But so the calipers will be something he'll hand down to me sometime. But yeah, a really special little knife. Again, it's the Solo 379 from Buck. And another sentimental knife would be this one here. This one was kind of the reason I got into collecting. It was the first knife that I picked up in Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's the white smooth bone Rough Rider sow belly, and I've gone on to get like nearly 48 different sow bellies now from Rough Rider. So,
that knife has cost a fortune.
Yeah, this one was the impetus for everything that came afterward, and this is just a really special knife to me, and that one's never going to leave the collection. So yeah, that's the one I can blame for having spent probably thousands of dollars since. So
Well, that's good.
Those two knives, those are my most treasured.
That's awesome. Hey, Slip Joint Sawyer, I see you're here. I have a question for you, John. Real quick. Blade Show Texas just happened. Did you happen to go there?
I did not. I had considered it, but I have a hard time staying on my feet for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So, I've got some health issues that prevent me from doing that. So it's just not in the cards to stand on my feet all day.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you. Well, and when you go to those big shows like that, what kills me is if you're there for a while, everybody's just kind of shuffling past stuff, and about halfway through that really starts to eat up your legs because you're not walking at a normal pace, and you just have this kind
it
of
makes it
stutter
an unnatural
stuff,
stride. Yeah, it's different that way.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
when you're waiting in line, you just kind of take
Right.
a couple steps, stop.
Yeah.
But
that's
I would have loved to gone, and I think, if I can improve my health, maybe next year I'll go. But
awesome.
I was listening to somebody doing a write-up about the Texas Blade Show. Because it's smaller than the bigger ones, it's not as big as them, and the room is smaller, they still get an awful lot of people there. And
Right.
the passageways are not very wide between the tables. So apparently that would have been a nightmare for you because you literally did have to stand while maybe 3 people were looking at a knife, and then you move with them.
Right.
So that would not have been comfortable.
No. Nope, not at all.
And I don't think they have a lot of not value knives there. I think a lot of it is more of the higher end and the custom makers sort of. I think it's apparently that's the way I read it, but
yeah, there are a lot of
I saw
makers.
a few shows or a few episodes on YouTube through Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and it looked like there was a good turnout. It's just that the size of the whole convention was smaller. They only had 1 room as opposed to 2 in Atlanta. So I know it had to be considerably smaller. And unfortunately, the weather wasn't that great either. Over the weekend, it was pretty cold. I mean, unseasonably cold, Probably would have been closer to 60 degrees or something like that on a normal day, but just happened to get that cold front came in. I guess also there was tornadoes, and JB was talking about how he couldn't land. They had to go to Austin,
Right.
and then come back up, reroute back up to Fort Worth, or to Dallas, then to Fort Worth.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't the greatest of weekends for a convention.
That's true. Well, at least they had one though, and it seems like it was successful. And yes, they have some wonderful slip joint makers that are out of Texas. I'll send them. I follow them on Instagram, Patty, and I'll send you the links to their Instagrams. And they just make some absolutely beautiful slip joint knives. Oh my goodness!
No.
Oh my goodness!
No.
What do we have here? Somebody ready with a sentimental knife?
Oh, no.
There's quite a lot of loose women there too.
Here we go. Here we go. This is how it all started.
Mrs. Knife Delights here. I just wanted to say, welcome, Katie. Us girls got to stay together now. Thanks for coming by. Bye.
Oh, you're too much, Tom.
There we go.
Oh, no.
That comment says it all.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh boy. Yep. I
my
got
goodness.
some crazy stuff going on.
Every time I step out of the room, I come back in and you're all laughing. What's going on?
I love you, Tom.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. Oh.
I think we'll call you Tammy from now on.
Tammy.
we have Tammy and Tommy the Mute, and
I go by, like I said, you call me anything you want except late for chow.
there you go. Oh boy.
That's right.
I hope Mrs. Knife Delights doesn't get mad that you raid her closet.
She doesn't know.
Apparently, he's been in the closet for years.
Oh,
Good one,
boy.
Patty.
Oh my.
Question is, are you wearing the heels to match that hat?
See there, Katie? I tried to bring a little jocularity, and you see what they do to me. Boy, they just tear me apart, Katie. Sorry you have to witness that.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, Tom, are you ready with some knives?
I do.
Okay, here we go.
Of course, I was very busy with my moderating duties, so I just grabbed something that was real handy. I show this a lot, but it doesn't make it less special. This was my late father-in-law's Buck 112, and it was made between 72 and 86. And I did send it into Buck for the spa treatment, and they put a factory edge on the blade,
It looks
and they
wonderful.
polished it out. Now the brass was, bright, super bright and shiny. But when you got it where the light's not directly on it, you can see it's really starting to form a really nice, even patina.
Yes.
And it's been about 4 years or so since I sent it in. So just a gorgeous knife. Just means the world to me. So, there's those knives, and I've been watching a lot of videos lately of people having knives handed down to them, or such as that, and it's just something special when you own a knife that was owned by someone that you respected, and they're no longer with us, and it just gives you that connection back to them. So that is one of my special knives.
Yep, for sure. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and show a couple of mine.
Tommy,
Oh, sorry.
I was
Go ahead.
gonna say,
Tom.
I can't believe he didn't. I'm shocked that he didn't show his grandfather's knife.
I haven't got it out yet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
I've
figured
been
coming
very
up.
busy with moderating duties. I'm working on a raise here, John. Please don't interfere.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh boy.
Tom has his
Been a
own
little
script.
absent-minded
We got some-
lately. I just want to
We
make
got
sure.
some
you didn't forget.
labor negotiations going on behind the
Yeah, right.
scenes, okay?
Do we need
I
to form
need
a
a
health and
raise.
safety committee now?
Need a raise.
Hey, Zen, I see you're there. And El Phoenix, if I didn't say hi, hello. And Pete and Byron, hello, welcome. Let me go ahead and show some knives here so you guys don't get bored and tune out. But for a sentimental knife, this one here, my dad gave to me. So this is sentimental because it was a gift from him. And he's no longer with us, but it's just a classic SD from the 1980s. I don't know when he got it or where he got it, but he gave this to me when I was home on leave, and he wanted me to have a knife to take over to Europe with me. So it's just your standard classic SD, but it's been something that I've had forever, and just I think of him every time I see it or carry it. So that's good. And another knife I have that is sentimental to me is this Case Stockman that my wife got for me. And this is the Ichthus pattern Stockman. This is the 18 frame. But this is just a wonderful knife. And I think about this one a lot because she was actually on vacation with our daughter when she bought this. And, she was thinking of me and sent this to me. So I think it's special for two reasons, that she was thinking of me when we weren't together, and that she got me a really awesome knife. It's just, it's a wonderful knife, and I really like it a lot. So those are my first two, and then we can go round robin again, because I got a whole bunch of, I couldn't believe when he said sentimental knives, how many knives I actually have that are sentimental or have a story or were gifts from people. And it's crazy. Slip joint Sawyer is he's here for the wrong reasons, Tom. So
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, it's the only reason I showed up, to be honest with you.
I guess it's best to have a bad reputation. That's better than having no reputation, right?
That's true. That's true. And I second that, Thrifty, that Mrs. RJ did good.
Yes, she did.
She,
Excellent choice.
She does good every day. One of these days, I'll either have her sneak in and get me a cup of coffee or something, or who knows, but she may show up at some point when she feels like it. So anyways, Zen is practicing being quiet, but that isn't that one of the tenets of Zen is being quiet or practicing quiet. I don't know. Just for fun. And then of course CB says we're going to have a union before long, and we're going to have Tom be the president.
Oh, you're not going to saddle me with that one.
That's okay. I'll be the treasurer. You guys can send your dues to me. I'll make sure they get to Tom. Wink, wink.
I can be a union steward if you want.
There you go.
Send your grievances to me.
That's right. Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to handle the grievances you'll get from Tom, but
well, that's what the delete button on the email folder is all about.
I don't know. Patty's sitting there awful quiet. I'm waiting for his zinger. Come on ahead with it, Stephen.
I want to be your dresser.
Yep, and I'd have to get her one of those Knife Delights derby hats. I don't think she has anything like that in her closet at all. So, oh my goodness.
Well, I'm glad nobody likes to laugh.
Yep, and Slip Joint Sawyer says you can be the first lady, Tom.
Oh boy.
Okay, are you ready to show some more knives there, Dave?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, right on.
Let's see here. So the first thing I want to say is thank you, Katie, for tuning in and watching, and I'll definitely be jumping on board and sending some of these stickers down to RJ so he can get them out to you. And also,
awesome.
I just wanted to give a couple quick shout outs. I just got some messages. Some of my friends have tuned in to watch this live show. So
Nice.
I just want to say hello to Matt Goldswizzle for tuning in, and to Mr. Rubber. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I appreciate that. So with that being said, the next knife I'm going to talk about is actually a knife for my kids. Again, it's nothing fancy. It's this, I think it's called a Buffalo Edition knife. I don't even know what the name of the knife is. It's made by a company called Saber. And, well, let me show the other side. So it has this buffalo. I think those are buffaloes. Or they're water bisons. I'm not sure what animal that is, to be honest with you. But it has, I don't know if, I'm going to try and hold it closer to the camera so you guys can really see the motif on it. If anyone knows what that animal actually is, you can tell me, because I really don't know.
It's just walking steak.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely. Prime rib, medium rare. That's good. But yeah, so this is called the Saber. And they got this for me for Father's Day a number of years ago. My boys did. They were up visiting some family way up north, northern Ontario, and they stopped in at a trading post. Believe it or not, in northern Ontario, we still have those things around. And they found this knife and they bought it for me, and they got it for me as a gift. And you know what? It's very heavy. It's I mean, the handles are like this plastic material, but on the inside they must be lined with lead or something, because this thing is very heavy. And I don't know what the blade steel is, but it came very sharp out of the package, which surprises the bejeebus out of me, because usually inexpensive knives like this usually come butter knife dull. This thing razor sharp, and it's very, very strong lockup, no blade play whatsoever. So even though it's an inexpensive, like no name type knife, it's actually surprisingly well made. So that's an example of a knife that I would never part with. And,
can I just say, Dave, if it's got Saber written on there, Saber was a Japanese company that made knives, and they made good quality, affordable knives.
Oh, well, there you go. That could
Now,
very
whether
well
that's
be it.
it or not, I'm not sure, but Saber was a Japanese company that made knives.
Yeah, that's what it says on the blade. It does say Saber. And then on the other side it says made in China.
Oh, right.
I mean, who knows, right? But but yeah, that's the only identifications that are on it, really. The other one I wanted to quickly show.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries. If you want to move on,
no,
you can come back to me. No worries. I don't want to take up too much time.
Now,
Tom mentioned, or one he has mentioned, grandfather's knives. So I'm actually going to hold off on showing that one for now. I'll save that for later on in the show. Don't let me forget. But I will just quickly show this little dandy guy, since RJ showed a Swiss Army knife. So this here is a Swiss Army knife that I got back when I was, I want to say 16 or 17 years old. I was dating a girl who was from Switzerland, and on the Christmas holidays, she went home to visit her family, and she went to the Victorinox. I can't talk today. Victorinox factory right there in Switzerland, and got me this knife. This is called the Bartender, also known as the Waiter. And she got my name engraved on it. So I do have a piece of tape covering that, because I'm just not comfortable giving my real name out to everyone. Not yet, at least.
No problems with that.
But yeah, so this is like super awesome. The frame is bent because I did try to open a bottle of wine once with it and realized that I didn't know actually how to do that with a Swiss Army knife. There is a trick. You kind of use your thumb and pry. I did it the wrong way and I bent the frame. So that's why the frame is kind of bent right there. If you can see that over here. So anyway, but yeah, dandy little knife. And what's really cool with this one is it's got that combo tool. So it's kind of like that lobster claw shaped, flathead screwdriver and can opener and bottle cap opener. Yeah, so it's just kind of really neat. It's just it's a single layer knife, but it's slightly smaller too. This is, I think, the 84 millimeter size. So anyway, that's just one of these little knives that I have that has sentimental value to me as well. So
that's fantastic.
So thanks very much for listening to me on that and ramble on like you normally do. It's time for someone else to talk.
Not a problem. I put up the comment Ken put about Katie for anybody that was wondering who Katie is in the comments. So you can see exactly who she is. I work with Ken, so yeah, I'm really grateful. And Ken is a converted knife guy. He was not really into knives seriously, and then he has started watching our live stream and watching my channel. He's been a supporter of me since I started the YouTube adventure, and I'm just glad that he's here and his family. They're all friends of ours and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun having them be involved in the channel. So it's kind of nice. I know not everybody knew that backstory, but I didn't know how much he wanted to put in there. But yeah, this was her comment this morning. So it's Sunday.
Real quick, RJ. Real quick, I saw North Star Knife Reviews. He says he's in the car, he's listening in, and he has his children with him too. So his children are listening also.
I had thrown that up on the channel too. Yep. Thank you, Ray, for listening. We always enjoy having you there. So it's there you go. Here's a question for you, Ken. Slip Joint Sawyer wants to know what are you carrying today? So let's find out in the comments if you want to do that. And El Phoenix says he has a 14-year-old son with very little interest in knives. Yeah, well, all kids are different, and he may get into it later. Give him some time. He may know about it. Did you want to go next, Patty?
Yeah, we should introduce Ken to our Barbie.
Oh my goodness!
Right.
There you go. Ken's EDC, and he's still carrying it today. His Leatherman Wave. He absolutely loves the multi-tools, and yeah, he carries one of those every day at work. I can vouch for that.
They're great.
And he carries it in a really nice custom Kydex sheath that he got for Christmas.
Oh,
so
wow,
that's
nice,
fantastic. Yeah. So Ken's he's on it. He knows what's going on. Hey, Big J is here. Good to see you, Jerry. Had a lot of fun on your show last night. I really appreciate you and Boston having me on. That was cool. And there you go. Ken's got a Barbie, except his name's Sandy. Oh, really nice. Pete's carrying his the Zen's Boker Copperhead. That's awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
So, all right, we'll bring you up full screen there, Stephen, so you can.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Hello, Katie. This is my little one you get. It's not a sticker, but it's a card. So that'll be going with you. Tom will be sending his over the RJs for you. Right, what have I got here? Right, here we go. This is one I got last year that I, again, bought myself. This is a Tony Bowes, and it's a dog leg jackknife. Lovely pen blade on that as well. But this was one of the specials that he done with case. And this is an absolutely stunning knife. I love this knife. It feels meaty in the hand. Sorry, did somebody say something?
I said that's a beautiful knife.
It really is just so beautifully made. Beautiful. And he only done these once a year with case, where he would have went in with their top tradesmen and taught them how to make the knife in his inimitable way, which was special. He always liked all his knives with round edges. There was no corners in any of his knives, all rounded edges. Very, very comfortable to hold in hand. So, I mean, that's really special. Now that he's passed on, I don't think I'd ever sell this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Another one, and this is sort of the most modern of them all. This is a Jack Wolf knife. And this one is and I've forgotten the name of it now. This is the Cyborg Jack. And the reason why it's special out of all of them is this is one that Ben designed himself from start to finish and then got it made. there was not this pattern out there. So that makes it very special. And I love the trailing clip point on it.
Yeah.
But just really special because this was the one that he's done all himself. And he has a future in designing.
That's very cool. I didn't know that about the Cyborg Jack.
Yeah, it's the only one that's, the rest were taken from patterns.
Right.
And he maybe, he plays about with them. But that's one that he designed from paper straight off himself.
That is very cool.
I'll go one more. And
Sure.
this is my favorite slip joint, or traditional slip joint, which I was really lucky to get. This is the GEC. Look at that. I just think that is the most beautiful Barlow. It's perfect proportions for me. It's bigger than a normal Barlow, a full 4-finger grip on it. It's got 440C steel, which is what GEC put on their stainless. And it's got the lovely two oak tree, the two oak Barlow, it's called.
Yeah.
And it's on both sides of the bolster, which is just gorgeous. And again, I think it was really hard to get at the time, and they weren't inexpensive. So that's another one that'll stay with me because the bone is just, you can see the shape of that bone. It is, it's nearly like soup bone. It's not soup bone, but it's unrefined. Right. They just smoothed it off and kept whatever shape was on the bone, which I really find attractive and lovely in the hand.
That is just fantastic. What a beautiful knife.
I have to say, it's one of my prides. I love that knife.
Yes, I can definitely understand why.
I got to say, those Jack Wolf knives are gorgeous.
Yes, they are. I like those too.
And sadly, there's not been a bad one yet.
That's good.
Yes, Tom, the links are coming through. I can see them coming through on the thing. So thank you for doing that. I don't know where Mimo is today. He usually shows up, but maybe he's busy today. So,
well, I'm a little slow, but I'm plugging away at it here.
That's good. You're worth every penny I pay you. I got to.
No, you mean every penny I pay you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. And the check is in the mail, right?
It's made of rubber, so
about 6 months, I think.
There you go. All right, are you ready, John? Would you like to go next? You're muted.
I'm going to show what I was carrying today.
Sure.
Got the slip and one of my favorite copperheads. It's the round jig bone with the acorn shield, Rough Rider.
Very nice.
And actually carrying two knives today. Got the 1040T. That's in the 5th pocket since I'm wearing my jeans.
Nice.
What blades is in that 104?
104 is just a single blade knife.
All right.
It's a pin knife. I forget. I get them mixed up. I've got so many of these old timers. But yeah, that's the 1040T.
Lovely.
Just a little.
That's
pin
a nice
knife. Yeah. It's all you really need most of the time.
It's all I need all of the time.
Yeah. This is another sentimental knife. This is the 70T from Uncle Henry. This is a knife that my son bought me. And very much like a Buck 110, but just sort of a copy of it, I suppose. But this has got the rosewood handles. This is American made. Has the Schrade Plus blade steel.
Nice.
So it's the stainless steel that they used.
It's very pretty.
Early on. I don't want to say this is probably from early, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, but very stout. And one thing I was surprised to learn is when I weighed this, it actually weighs more than my Buck 110. I was kind of shocked to find that out.
Really? How much does it weigh?
I don't remember the exact measurement, but I was thinking it was about 7.2, and I think the buck was around 7.1, so just about a tenth of an ounce. Not a major difference.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then of course comes in a nice sheath there, brown leather sheath.
Yeah.
But the English knife that I talked about last week that was going to be coming my way finally arrived,
Oh,
and
good.
I want to make sure Stephen got to see this today.
Oh, an Arthur Wright.
You guessed it. So this is supposed to be stag, but I think they lied to me, Stephen.
No, that's stag. Yeah, that is stag. It is different
stag.
from a lot of other stag, but it's a homegrown stag,
Okay.
and I actually quite like it.
Yeah, it's nice. I look at the coloring, and it's an artificial coloring. It's not the natural bone color.
Yeah, no, it's the real color and all that. They all come like that.
Yeah. But it looked like it got tumbled in some, sprockets where they scratched up the handle and then they put in the color. But I don't know. The stag's not as nice as some of the other knives I have, but it's still a lovely knife. Got they're calling that a Warncliffe blade.
Sheep's foot.
It's kind of in between, to be honest.
No, definitely a sheep's foot.
Yeah. It's more of a tweener, I guess. The radius, I always felt like the perfect sheep foot had a 90-degree radius, right?
No, not necessarily. No, they can be rounded
it doesn't
over.
have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sheffield ones have a sort of a law unto their own. They can round them over as well.
Yeah. So, yeah, the retailer was where I got it was calling it a Warncliffe, but I agree with you. I think it's more of a sheep's foot.
In fact, Tom, if you put that up, is that running? Is it parallel lines, the top and bottom of the blade, or is it slightly bigger at the end? Because it looks nearly more like a ram's foot.
Maybe just ever so slightly larger at the end. Very.
That's where the rounded bit. I would nearly call that a ram's foot.
Yeah.
But you're saying a tweener does just as good.
Yeah, tweener.
That's a technical term, right?
Yeah. So shout out to James and Company, because they're one of the few people I've been able to find Arthur Wright here in the States. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice company there.
Is that from that pocket collector's place?
Yeah, AAPK. Yeah.
AAPK.
All about pocket knife.
Yeah, I would love if we could get that put up on the channel for people in America, because people are always asking me where they can buy them. And the only place I can recommend is the UK. But that would be a nice place for Americans to go and have a look.
Right. And he had a pretty good assortment of different ones.
Yeah.
So, yep. And I'm considering getting the same knife, but with the clip point. So I just have a twinsy. I have a pair of them. But, yeah, that's what I brought out today, guys.
Very cool. A twinsy for the tweener.
Yep, twinsy for the tweener.
All right, Tom, are you ready to?
No, why don't you go ahead and move right along there?
Okay, gotta go get dressed.
I'm taking my duties and responsibilities very serious here.
I noticed.
Real quick,
if
I'm missing any channels, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know. I want to get them up there.
I haven't even been paying attention. I apologize. I mean, I kind of vaguely watch what's going on over here, and when I see someone say hi or whatever, I try to respond back.
RJ, did you see the gift there from Mike Curtis?
I did. Where he, I saw that he joined the channel, and I thank you for that, Mike, for joining the regiment. That's also I might have missed a gift.
No, it just came up. He said he gifted one RJ's Knives membership.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah, I don't know how
and
to tell.
Matt was the recipient of it, so he's the one that got the gift.
Who got the gift?
Matt.
Oh, I see.
Matt.
Okay, there it is underneath it. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, because YouTube assigns the
welcome.
YouTube assigns who gets those memberships when people gift them. It's not anything that we can control. on our side. So it just goes in there and YouTube just picks somebody in the chat. So it's really cool. It's
That's
kind of
pretty
random,
neat.
but then it's hard to figure out who got what.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
it's a cool thing that can happen. So hey, Bluminati is here. Nice. Yep. Hey, Bobby King, I see you're here too. And Ant says we'll put up his comment. Did everyone see they have a bunch of American Blade Works on REC and Knife Joy? I did not. So that's good to know. Something I'll check out after the show. That's for sure. Let's see.
What sort of
here.
knives are the American Blade Works?
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head. That's a good question, but we'll definitely have to take a look at that and see what.
Yeah, I'll
what
have a
it
look
is.
myself now.
Yeah, because I'm kind of new to that myself. All right, so let me go ahead and show my next ones. These were channel gifts from El Phoenix, and I thank you for these. He sent me this really cool little Kershaw that was made in Japan, and they had these little knives. These were on eBay, but what a cool little pocket knife that is. You know, for fifth pocket carry, you got a little screwdriver and cap lifter, and then a really nice little drop point blade. It's a beautiful little slip joint, very well made, and I just really enjoy it. I did do a video on this one, and he sent me some more knives that I need to do videos on. But another one of those is he gifted me this Wenger. This is the
That's nice.
Commander, and yeah, I this is my first Wenger, so I need to do a video on this one. And yeah, it's really cool. He gave it a nice little pocket hanger and lanyard on it. Just perfect. You know, you got the corkscrew and a screwdriver in the center of it. It's just a really cool knife. Perfect pocket size, and I like this guy a lot. I'll definitely have to do a video on that. And
The thing is,
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Stephen.
the thing is with a Wenger, I love the Wenger blade rather than the Swiss Army knife. It's got a more bellied blade if you look at it. There's a lovely belly, and it's just a gorgeous knife to cut a sandwich with or something like that.
Yeah, I will definitely have to check that out. And then John reminded me about this knife, and this was a gift from my daughter, the Mountain Beaver Junior. And I was glad that he mentioned that. I had this knife out on my counter. I just hadn't grabbed it for a while, and so I picked it up last night, and it's a wonderful knife, and it does have some sentimental value to me, and it's a really pretty knife, and I like this one a lot. So definitely one that I'm going to throw it in the EDC rotation this week. So thank you, John, for reminding me that I should carry my knives more.
No, you know what happened was I saw mine because I was doing an inventory, and I pulled mine out. I'm like, why am I not carrying this thing?
Right.
So
exactly.
I was thinking, hey, I haven't seen RJ pull his out for a long time either. So I thought I'd ask you about it.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You know, because we start going through so many knives and stuff, and you find these good ones that are just little gems, and you kind of forget that you have them because you're on to the next one or testing another one or carrying this one, and they kind of get a little bit of not as much love as they need. So yeah, this is a perfect example of that. So thank you for telling me and reminding me about that.
Hello, Miss Patty.
Because I love these little.
She'll
these little
sneak
locks.
out again.
Okay, are you ready now, Tom?
Can I
No,
ask,
go right ahead.
Certainly
RJ,
can.
is that a buck knife you just showed?
No, this is an old timer.
All right.
Yeah,
It's
this
lovely.
is-
I do like that, and I have to say.
yeah, it's the 28 OT. So it's a nice
Very
little small knife. Yeah.
Similar to the sort of Bruin type of a knife, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar.
It has a slightly longer blade.
Right.
Here, I'll bring it up. I did do a full video on it, but one of the cool things about it is it actually has two different woods in the blade. So you have some rosewood up here and some ebony down here, and this nice
nice.
little brass liner in between. It's a lock back, has a lanyard hole. It comes in a belt sheath, but it's small enough you can carry it in your pocket if you want. It's not very heavy, and these are I forget the price, but I'm going to guess that they're right in the $30 range.
It's a beautiful drop.
Straight old timer, and they make a larger version if you like a larger version. But this is plenty to get on it. It's a 3-finger knife, but the way that they've made this, your pinky curls right up at the end. Just a great little knife, handy, perfect for everyday tasks for sure. There's nothing you can't do with that in a normal day.
Very nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Are you ready, Tom, or you want me to skip you?
Don't go right ahead.
Okay. Did you want to go again then, Dave?
Oh, sure.
I got something too.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead, John. If you're ready.
It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to make sure I got this in at some point. Big J, he sent me this. It was just a complete surprise. We're doing a sticker swap, and he included this with his sticker, and I had no idea. I guess he picked this up at the flea market. I don't know if Big J's still in here. I saw him in here earlier. Hopefully he's still in here, but I just got the biggest kick out of this because you know how I always tease RJ about the spay blades on the trappers and so forth. And he sends this big hunking piece of metal here.
That is class.
Are those all blades?
Those are all blades. All 5
Oh my
blades.
goodness!
That's known in certain circles as the Rough Rider meat grinder.
But so if you don't like the spay blade, not a problem. Just pull out the razor. If you don't like the razor, pull out the clip. Nice Skinner blade there.
Yeah.
I won't show the spay blade because we got a 13-year-old watching today.
You can show it.
But there's
my
your sheep's foot. And last but not least, we got spear point. So one hell of a trapper. That's one heck of a trapper.
That is.
Shout out to Big J. That was awesome.
Big J is there.
Super nice.
That's all the trappers in one knife.
It is. It's all the trappers you could ever want.
What blade shape is it missing? Not many.
It's got them all.
And you can't decide which one you want. There you go.
That's right.
I'd need an apprentice to carry that with me.
Well, at least a Sherpa. Yeah.
Pull a sled behind you. Carried in that.
See, John. When you do this, we get questions like that.
No, Zen, you know what a spay is.
And Slip Joint Sawyer says he wants to know how much does that thing weigh.
I can wait for you.
He weighs about 14 stone. The knife's heavy too.
Absolutely.
6.7 ounces.
Wow, it's still lighter than a buck.
I was gonna say, I think that's actually lighter than a buck 110.
Yep.
Not by much, but
no, not by much.
Tom, can I just say you have a lovely ballerina's neck?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's these doggone bifocals. I'm studying. I'm trying to do my job. Would you stop interrupting me?
sorry.
It takes me an hour and a half to do a 5-minute technical job. Okay.
It's all right. We're good.
I'm going to get back to my abacus and finish out some figures here, and then I'll be ready to be on the show.
Oh my gosh.
You like the IT
We'll be
department
here all night.
I'm trying
I
to
thought
promote
the average-
RJ. Everybody go to RJ's store. He's got coffee cups and T-shirts. Please become a member of RJ's. What do you call it? The brigade?
The regiment.
Regiment. I'm
Regiment,
sorry.
yes,
That
that's
army
okay.
stuff. Yeah. Whatever that army stuff is.
Well, Big Red has the big brigade. You know, it's Big
Oh,
Red's
okay.
brigade, and then RJ's regiment. Yeah. So there you go. Yep. So Patty, everyone's kind of saying on this side of the pond, what is 14 stone? They're kind of confused over the King's measurement system you
Translation.
have over there.
14 stone. That's the measurement when you go up from pounds, it goes up to stones.
Right.
So so it's me, but about 4 stone less.
Oh,
And
Hello,
there you go.
Casey.
That might be the worst
So,
Run
explanation
away,
ever.
now.
So, Patty, would you describe yourself as about 4 stone and about 13 hands?
No, you're not using that spay blade on me.
Oh, I'd like to welcome KC from Knives Fast. He's
Hello,
graced us with his
Casey.
presence. Thank you, Casey.
Hello,
for
Casey.
being here.
Sorry I wasn't here sooner. It's been that kind of day as usual. Always. That's why they call me Knives Fast, actually, because I'm always running around everywhere. So
Well, that's awesome. We're so glad that you're here, and I have to tell you, I'm honored. Ever since I started the show, when I'd see you in the comments and that you come back week after week and you actually enjoyed my live stream, I just thank you because I look up to you and JB and Patty and a lot of other guys that have been doing this for a long time. I'm so glad that you enjoy my show.
Oh,
That means
absolutely.
the world to me.
you guys are fun. You laugh a lot, and I learn something every week. Because so even though my dad was into knives all my life, he was always into the same style. I mean, he always had, and I would say a buck 110, but it was usually some Pakistani version of a buck 110.
Right.
Still had wood handles and everything, but I mean, that's what he had. He might have a smaller one or a bigger one, but it was always some sort of lockback. So, learning about other with a clip point blade, of course. And so learning about other traditional patterns and stuff is really, really cool to me. I enjoy that a lot.
I don't know if you saw that comment, Stephen. Crispy Critter says we could ban you and no spays involved.
Oh,
Yes,
my.
it makes me go a bit funny though.
oh,
Yeah,
man.
you might just talk funny after that. That's for sure.
So I've said this before in the chat, RJ, and you and I've talked about this, but this was actually my first knife that my dad got me. This is my Ulster Cub Scout knife.
Yeah, let me bring you up so we can see that closer.
And
there you go.
so after I finished Cub Scouts, even you can see I cleaned a lot of fish with this.
Yeah.
Whole lot of trout. I don't dare try to clean it up. Maybe I could send it to Tom if he promises not to break it. No, I'm scared to death that I'm just gonna mess it up if I try to clean it. So I just leave it with how it is and keep it in my case because it brings back a lot of really good memories with my dad. So.
Well, I would say that Tom would be a good person to
I would.
do the restoration on that.
I was just going to say I'd be more than happy to do nothing but give it a mineral oil bath and get it cleaned out. I don't have to remove any patina or anything. But yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, it's got a lot of good memories. That would be cool for sure to get it to where it could actually not grind as I close it. So.
Right.
I think I could probably do that for you. I'd be more than happy to.
But I don't know what I did with the bail. Somebody asked me not too long ago what happened to the bail. I was a kid. I probably broke it off. So
I had the same situation. I got several camp knives without bails, so I'm gonna one of these days start learning how to make some bails for replacements. Because,
there you go.
But
Can I give you a wee tip for bails?
Sure.
Do you know your wife's old handbags? The leather handle is strapped on by a little like a D-ring. I took them off, just file it down and stick it in the side of it, and it does as a bail.
huh,
Oh, that's a good
pretty
tip.
neat.
Very, very interesting. That's That's one I wouldn't have thought of for sure. But
Yeah.
it's just a fun knife to pull out and look at and remember my dad. My dad was much older than a lot of guys. My dad was 45 when I was born. So my dad was in World War II and everything else, and died when I was 45. So yeah, is that right? No, I was 40. I'm sorry. I was 40. So quite a while ago. So it's a really good memory.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to have you on the show also because you're the founder, chief CEO, and head bottle washer at Tempest Knives,
Yes,
and
sir.
lead designer and stuff. And that's super interesting to me of how you decided to form your own knife company and design your own knives and actually get them to market. And they're, as far as I can tell, they're doing really well. Everybody loves the opinion, and you just came out with a new model. Is that right?
It's coming very soon. We're on pre-order for it, but it's probably a few weeks away from being here. That's the microburst. Actually,
I like
let me bring that up because
So hold
Yeah.
that close to the
Those-
camera.
yeah, there you go. I have
Yeah, let me
two
bring 'em
of
up
them
quick.
right now. This is the one on top shows the optional scales that I'm offering, and the one on the bottom is the how it comes, I guess you would say. But there's a black blade version with black hardware and a stonewashed version with silver hardware there, and those are still available. Probably what will happen is when they tell me the pre-order knives are in the air, as you will, I will close the pre-order, and then it won't be open again until after I've fulfilled everybody's pre-order, and then we'll open it back up at a little higher price. So basically, I have to order. This is a budget-y knife. It's a less than $100, and so I have to order 600 of them. So I've sold about 228, I think, on the pre-order, and then hopefully we can sell them all, the rest of them, after the fact, and I'll have some at Blade Show in June. And then you mentioned the pinion, same exact thing. Had to order 600 of these, and it was in 4 different varieties, which I've decided concentration is a little bit better. But these are waning, I guess you would say. The black micarta have been gone for some time. There are now 3 as of this morning. Somebody bought one. There are 3 of these left on my website, the blue G10, and like 12 or 13 of the jade G10 left. And then when they're gone, I'll have a handful at Blade Show, and that's that. So the answer to your question is yes, the pinion has done very well. When you've sold close to 550 of them, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'll take it. And then I've got another one called the Jetstream in prototyping right now. So hopefully we'll have one of those to show off before too long, and definitely a Blade Show. So, but
Yes,
I guess, RJ, the answer to your question would be, I mean, you kind of asked a question there about how does that get started? I mean, I guess I'm a hardhead. So 7.5 years ago, I started the Knives Fast channel because I wasn't able to find reviews that I identified with. Most of the knife reviews back in those days were 20-30 minutes for a knife, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have a lot of time. Like if I'm considering buying a knife, to sit there and watch and I like to watch 2 or 3 people's opinions, 2 or 3 20-minute videos on that. So I decided, I'm going to do less than 10-minute reviews, and started the channel like I said 7.5 years ago. Well, the same thing with Tempest. I mean, I kind of felt like there were a lot of knives. Again, I'm not saying I'm the only one designing knives like this, but that focus on different things. And the thing for me is ergonomics. I love contoured scales. There's so many flat scales out there. I love a choil, the ability to choke up, and in this case, a thumb ramp. And then it all started with the Mach 51, which did not get funded, unfortunately, but we'll come back again someday. But the point of that thumb ramp and kind of that idea of a very ergonomic knife, and the other thing that gets on my nerves with knife reviews is not enough lock bar access. And if you get one of my knives, you will definitely be happy with lock bar access. So it's just, it was one of those things where I felt like I can't really always find the knife I'm looking for and the size I'm looking for, and maybe I'll try to do my own thing, kind of thing. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Are you
Oh, go ahead, Stephen.
are you going to try and sell them over in Europe?
I would love to. So maybe I should spend some time talking to you, because my biggest fear is that I sell some knives and then they get confiscated at the whatever it's called. I can't get the word. Customs. Thank you.
Customs, yeah.
And so I don't want to sell something to somebody and then it get confiscated and then I'm sitting here holding the bag. Same thing goes with Canada, but I would love to find a dealer or do something like that. Absolutely, I would.
Yeah, that's the one crappy thing.
I could give you a couple of hints for dealers who would do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would imagine
I could give you a couple of hints of dealers, and your knives.
Go ahead.
The only ones that have a real problem over here, and they're trying to take off at the minute, is flipper knives. But if it's just a finger opening knife, and if it's around the 3-inch blade, there's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, the pinion is 3.5, so maybe that might be a little tougher, but the microburst is cutting edge is just over 2.5. So I would think the microburst would be
that's
fine.
A perfect knife. That would be.
Yep.
The shorter one is the one that I think is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I love a taller blade like that, because even though this isn't a hollow, it's a flat, it comes down to this ridiculous thin slicey. And then I did this thing here that I like on knives, which is where I put a big swedge, and so that allows cutting relief as well. So you end up with a nice thin cut. This is a cardboard killer. So love that knife, but it is mine, but I still love it.
Have you ever wanted? If you are ever interested, just PM me on Instagram and I'll get back to you.
Can do for sure. Sounds great.
And there was a question about what steel are you using on
I'm sorry. Both of these are 14C. I haven't decided yet about the Jetstream, which I can actually show you a picture of, which will be a titanium knife, probably in the 120 to 140 range. I'm not sure yet, depending on what steel I choose. But both of these are 14C.
14C is a great blade steel.
Yeah, it really is, and it allows you to put it in a price range that is reasonable. I'm not on a modern folder. I'm not a big D2 guy. I know a lot of you love D2, and I don't not like it. I just, because as a knife steel, it's a cutter, it takes a great edge, all that stuff. But I just, on one that you might be using for work tasks and stuff, I like to stay away from D2 just for corrosion purposes. I've had some issues over the past, but and so that, then you end up with a knife in 14C that, in my opinion, has a very good steel. Your price didn't go up a lot, but a little, and really, really good steel. So the Jetstream, I haven't decided yet. I'm back and forth between 154 CM and if I can get it out of my mind, and 14C. So, but that one will be for those of you, I've heard from a lot of people that I love your knives, but I'm not big on sheep's footy blades. So the Jetstream will be a spear point. So
let me bring that up.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, it's kind of a terrible way to see the picture, but it's gonna be a spear, high hollow ground spear point. So it should be very thin, contoured, slightly contoured scales, not aggressively contoured in this case. And then it'll have a little flipper at the top here as well. So a hole and a low profile flipper.
Is it a front flipper?
No, it's a regular flipper. So have you ever seen like any of the Vero knives or, so basically it's just that cutout allows you to leave when do I have a picture of it close? Yes, I do. Hold on. This will show you. Yep. Here you go. So if you see there, you end up with the tang, the front of the tang having jimping on it.
That's clever.
And you can grab that and it becomes a very low profile flipper, and you don't end up with that as some people call it, pocket pecker, that just kind of gets in the way, sticking out there. So again, it's a prototype. It should be here soon, and we'll see how it goes. May have to tweak it.
I really like that. I also like the long finger opening slot.
Yeah,
that's
kind of a knives fasty kind of. A Tempest knives kind of thing. When I do a hole, you can see the one on the pinion is pretty much. It's a little different shape, but I like to have a nice longer and somewhat tall, but not super tall.
Makes it easy to flick it out if you want to do the Spidey flick, so to say.
Yep.
From the bottom side of the knife.
Yeah. Right, and you can actually get in the fuller here as well at the end if you want, and flick that out real easily. Boy, I was really close to my phone there, but.
Were you gonna actually do a KC on my show?
Yeah, I was about to. Yep. Oh gosh.
That's okay. Funny. I got told I was pulling a KC when I dropped a knife during a video a while back. So I was honored to be in the group.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it. There's I do want to say one thing, RJ. I mean, you're doing a great job, man. And there's really nothing special about what I'm doing, or JB would say the same thing. We're just guys out here sharing what we like and what we enjoy. And heck, I even get picked on from time to time about I missed this in a review, or I didn't say that, or we all get it. And it's, all of us that are doing this stuff, we're just doing our best to share how we feel about a certain knife. And, exactly. and in the case of making knives, I'm sharing with you guys what I really enjoy in a knife. That's, I've got probably, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I've got probably 30 designs in my book over here. Yes, people ask, you got any fixed blades? I got 2 of those. You got any slip joints? I got a couple, but the thing is, when you come to a slip joint, I feel like you got to honor the past. And I feel like because my style is a little more, what's the word? I don't know. It's just it's got kind of a, with the swooping and everything, it's just got kind of a different style. I want to stick within my design framework, but honor, slip joints. So I have one right now that I might try at some point, but it's a little out there. But we'll see how it goes.
I think it's okay, because with slip joints, I find is that you can go really stay close to the pattern, but even like in stuff like the Rough Rider Reserve, where they took knife designs and they might have changed the kind of blade that's on there and offered a different blade shape, or they did something like that. So I think that there's room for that kind of a knife, and I think that those also translate well to the European market, where slip joints are becoming more mandated for them, for them to be able to look at something. If you look at some of the knives by Fox and who are some of the other Italian makers, Patty, would you say that they're kind of, they make it lion steel, and some other ones are making modern slip joints?
That whole Maniego part of Italy, there's a whole different selection of knife makers, and they actually interchange between each other when they're making knives. One will make one part, another one will make another, and that's where you get the conglomerates like the Lion Steels and all that. So yeah, they're really pushing it. But I think as long as you call a knife what it is, if it's a traditional, call it a traditional. If it's a modern one, call it a modern one. And more people who like the modern knives are now sort of slipping into the slip joints.
Yep.
Jack Wolf knives, for example, they're modern knives. Yeah, they've got a box full of them.
So this has been, and many other slip joints I've picked up since he's kind of. I wasn't really doing the slip joint thing, and Ben kind of pushed me over the edge. So there we go.
Yeah, I think as long as you're not calling it what it's not, people are open to more designs. And slip joints this last year and a half, slip joints have just gone way up on sales.
Right.
I agree.
I think it's fantastic. I'm a traditionalist, but I've got a box full like that of modern ones, and I love them every bit as much.
Yeah. So the one that I'm really working on a lot is kind of my take on if a hawkbill and a Warncliffe had a baby. And so that's kind of with my kind of take on the opening top part. So I
Casey,
don't know.
there's some I like more than others.
Yep, we'll see. But again, my biggest thing, that was funny. My biggest thing is I just want to get some. I'm being more middle of the road to begin with, just to try to get some knives out there and have people. I mean, I'm going to Blade Show for that very reason, to try to have people know who the heck I am and what I offer. And I'm hoping to have at least a couple of new knife prototypes on the table, and the ones I've already done, and just kind of get myself out there, and then we can try the riskier stuff down the road. We'll see how that goes.
It's not an easy task being a knife designer and maker, and getting it to the product. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. So I appreciate when somebody puts the effort in, because you don't get paid enough for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like you do have to actually put an awful lot of legwork in.
Yep.
Well, Casey, I guess I got a question.
Yes, sir.
If I was to sit and to design a knife, I would probably put something down there and say, no, somebody's already done that. That's the such and such knife.
Yep.
How do you come up with your original designs? I mean, do you run into that yourself?
Oh yeah. So when I'm drawing, Tom, I personally, every designer is different, but when I draw, I start with the blade. So the first thing I do is I'm drawing a blade. And if you remember, I mentioned the first knife, the Mach 51. When I drew this one,
let me bring this up.
I had in my mind the P-51 Mustang airplane.
That is cool. Yeah.
So that's where I came up with this whole deal of having the cockpit sort of thing as thumb ramp. And that kind of translated into where I ended up with the pinion. Now, this one went over a whole lot better because it doesn't look like an actual cockpit. It looks like a hole. So, but I guess that's one of the things that I'm the most passionate about, is I don't want to just be making another X. But
right.
The answer to your question is, Tom, good luck. Because I still have had people saying that my knives look like X, Y, or Z. Now, I don't get as much of that as some people do because my designs are fairly unique. But like, for example, even in this one, I've had people saying it looks like the F5.5, which I don't really see. It's kind of a totally different blade shape, and it's not titanium, and it's different handle and sticks up further out of the handle, and it's a thumb stud rather than a hole. So, you can only do so much, is I guess my answer is, when I'm drawing, I have in mind trying to avoid other things. And then I sit and I think about it and look, does it look like something else?
Okay.
So I guess it's best effort.
Sure. Yeah. I could just see that as a stumbling block of,
it is,
I mean, we've had knives around for ever since mankind's been around. And
and don't forget, the balance is, Tom, you got to make something people are going to buy.
Sure.
Again, this is way unique. Nobody's designed anything like the Mach 51, but it didn't sell because it was a little too much. You know what I'm saying? It was a little too far. So there's a balance. And I got to tell you, there's going to be a time where somebody's going to go, that knife looks exactly like this. And I'm just going to go, I don't look at every knife. I don't own or hold every knife. So I'm sure there's going to be some. And if we want to take it the other way, if you go look at the new Boker P-51 Mustang knife that's coming out, sure does look a lot like this. And this came out way first. So it's, Tom got on his ear there.
Tom got a little sideways.
But
it's
I don't. Here's the thing: if you want something, if you want something useful, and if you want something that people are going to want, you have to ride that line close to other designs. You can't You can't just go doing wacky stuff out here. Now, the exception to that is Israel over at Arcade Designs. I mean, that guy's just doing totally different looking, very I call it Klingon looking, you know what I'm saying? It's got
Right.
kind of a really
It's
different thing going
almost
on.
like the Fantasy Blades
Right.
type thing. Yeah.
But they're good. I mean, they're just good. They're very, especially the latest one, the Drop Point, fantastic. Great
Just
knife.
a smaller market, though. That's the other thing with that is a smaller market at a high
Yep.
price.
Yep. I agree. That makes it tough. Yeah, so I'll probably do a Mach 51 again, Mike Curtis, at some point. We'll see.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out and maybe try to tweak it a little bit. It definitely needs better lock bar access. It's funny. It's something I'm passionate about, but because I really wanted to keep this one thin and sleek, it doesn't have as good a lock bar access, and probably go with a hole rather than the fuller there, and try a few other things, and we'll see where it goes.
KC,
Yep.
What do you think among the modern? You're looking at a lot of modern knives, right? I mean,
Yes,
you're
sir.
doing the reviews. You're doing your own designs. So I mean, you have a wide viewing angle of the modern knives as a whole, right? So
Yep.
what do you think like the biggest failing is? Because when I look at that, from my personal opinion, is there always seems to be one feature missing or one major function that's either compromised or maybe not even in there. Like a jimping, for example, seems to me would be pretty straightforward, and maybe you have to do a little more machining. Maybe there's some added costs there, but the importance of it, I think, overrides maybe the expense.
Yes.
But many knives I've not bought in the modern realm because there was always one thing
issue, right?
You know what I mean?
I
think
didn't
have multiple like deployment options, things like that.
The most, in my opinion, the most common is something to do with the clip. I mean, there's either the clip has mushroom screws where you can't get your you can't, or it's a stamped clip and the angle's not right, or it grinds right here, or they don't, for some reason. I don't understand why. To me, it should be a slam dunk, which by the way, I've been showing the microburst. It is going to have a left side clip option that was just missed by Kubi in the proto phase, but every knife should have a left side clip option, and I don't understand why some of them don't do that. And I think a good example of this, if you guys seen, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there was a $45 knife called the Miguron Moyarl, and it's by the company Miguron. And that thing is money. I mean, the clip is actually good. It's $45, amazing action. But they didn't, the scales are just flat as a pancake, and they barely chamfered the edges there, just barely. If they had taken that and just contoured it just slightly, but you're right. I think I'll tell you what it is, TK, what it is they're trying to hit a price point, and they have to figure out, what do I give up to hit that price point? Because that extra, that contour, or that extra chamfering, or putting the clip on the other side, all of those things have a small price tag.
Right.
And so I think the answer to your question is, I think they're losing, they're gaining sight on where they want that price point to be, and losing a thing or two in the design. And you're right about what you say. Sometimes the second opening method can actually be a little bit of an issue. Like I just had the can't remember the name of the knife. The Vastid, the big one, the Labrador. Thank you. And it's great. But if you try to use that front flipper and you have your hand in the right place, the flipper tab itself is right here. And when you try to front flip it, you get ground by the jimping on the flipper tab. And it's just, there's just so many things like that. It's hard. It really is. And here's the other thing. if you're in a factory, you can do a prototype, and then you should be able to go back and fix some of those things pretty easily. In my case, you're faced with, if I order something and it's way wrong, now I really got to get a second set of prototypes. That's another cost, more shipping, everything under the sun. So I think it just all comes down to cost, if that makes any sense.
So in a way, you'd say that they work backwards. They say, this is the price we want to hit.
Yep.
Here's our design, and then how do we make it so that those two things connect?
I mean, again, I can't speak to their process, but that's my thought, is that's what they're doing, is they're saying, okay, we need to fill this spot in the market, and so we're gonna do this price point, go make a knife, and it's like, right. and so go ahead.
I was gonna say also, like, with go ahead, Stephen.
The other thing is, there's an awful lot of expensive knives out there that miss them points as well. Yeah, it's not just the budget knives or the value knives, because I don't know how many more expensive knives that have got, and the pocket clip would dig a hole in your hand. You could hardly cut one cardboard box up before you're going to get damaged.
Yeah.
And I can never understand why. Do they not put them in their hand first before you sell it to somebody? It just drives me to distraction. That's why I love traditional knives.
Understood, because there's no clips. I got you, but it's interesting. You're not wrong, and I was about to turn around and find something out of my box in a modern knife that had a bad clip, but I don't keep it if it has a bad clip. So I don't really have anything. I don't have anything to show you. So,
well, I did notice that you had wire clips on your knives, the microburst, and I like a wire clip. I think that those are pretty good. And
so, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and I like deep carry clips also. And I'm like you. I think that if you're gonna have a clip and it's gonna be held on with screws, the ones from Petrified Fish, how they make it so the clip goes in the end of the knife, like I think is fantastic. And then having countersunk screws, that just makes a huge difference too, rather than the panhead screws, that catch on your pocket, because I think they don't think about the how much room you need to get the material through there. It's just something that I think a lot of clips are afterthoughts.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Again, that Labrador Vosteed has that clip that just kind of dives down, and it has a very small swoop, which means it feels great in your hand. Right. But again, it's hard to get over your fabric or your pants. It's just
right.
The reason I like wire clips is two things. Okay, so there's two reasons. Okay. Number one, they move a little bit, so they have flex. So if I do bear down, usually it's going to move enough where it's not going to be a hot spot. And the second reason is everybody's making wire clip replacement. You've got 2 or 3 companies that make them. So if you don't like a wire clip, and I know it's an additional expense, you can go unscrew this, put a lynch clip on for $20, and now you've got what you want. And I have what I wanted, and there we go. So
right.
Now I will say the titanium knife I'm doing something a little bit different with the clip on that one, just because I go back and forth on that one, because now what did I just say about this guy? It moves a little bit.
Right.
Okay. So now if it moves a little bit, it's going to scratch up that titanium, and it looks, it doesn't look bad on a micarta or G10 knife because it doesn't really scratch that bad. But on a titanium knife, you're going to end up scratching it. So I'm going with something different on the titanium one. So it's all one of those things where you got to figure out what works.
Yeah, and it's all personal preference too.
Yep. 100%.
That's a big part of it, is everybody has their own opinion and their own likes and dislikes.
Yep.
I think there might be some aspect of this that there's some truth in. You're saying it's a price point thing, but maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like there's times where they intentionally leave something just slight of perfect so that you're back buying something else.
Probably. I would not doubt that there's something like that.
That's my point.
Yeah, I would.
You're saying that they consult with Lynch first and say, we're going to make this cruddy clip on here, and you make a good one for us.
It's not
keep that aftermarket going.
Not out of the realm of possibility. Well, and I would say simple clips are my favorite. This is my TRM Atom in these ridiculously beautiful, in my opinion, G-Carta tidal wave scales. Oh, look, matches my shirt today.
Yeah, those are nice.
But this clip is just very simple, doesn't bother me at all. Again, it does have panhead screws there, but they're not bad. You still have plenty of room. So
Yeah.
just simple clips. If you're gonna go with a bent clip, go with simple. I love this knife. just a simple knife, but pricey, of course.
Well, it's not even the pricey; it's the availability is the hard thing with them.
Right, understood. I got this. I got this one at Blade Show, Patty. That's how you beat that some of the time.
Yeah.
You show up at the beginning of Blade Show and, oh, you have that. Okay, I'll take it. So
yeah, and Mr. Rubber is reminding us we have 28 likes so far. We got like 42 people watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, guys. That means a lot to the channel and to
absolutely
getting this video out to more people. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it.
It just reminded me to hit the like button. I'm in the show and I didn't hit the like button. No good.
What? That's mandatory. Didn't you get the memo?
It's in there now. Sorry, there'll be an HR meeting after this, won't there be?
Yeah, I'm afraid you're gonna have to stay after the show.
I got to talk about you just doing now. Oh wait, that's me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put my hand up. I watch so many videos that I can go through and I'll watch maybe 6 or 7 videos. And when I'm getting to the last one, I remember to hit the like button. Then I have to go back into the other videos, tap, 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 tap. And yet, it's funny. It's one of those things that I never get into the habit of saying when I started doing YouTube was, would you hit the like button and subscribe? And I've never got into the habit of doing it. So I've sort of missed that part.
I know. I feel like a beggar when I ask in my videos. I'm like, please remember to hit the like and subscribe.
Oh no,
I always feel bad asking.
It's kind of a one of those musts of the business, though. You kind of need to do it. Hey, Tom.
Sorry about that.
Casey, I think you knocked him off his rocker.
You did. That was a good answer. Sorry, Mike. I got my tablet plugged in. It must come loose, and that ran out of power, and it just went bloop.
Oh, no.
So we're up and going again. So
there we go. Good.
Thanks for your answer there. That's if I was to design a knife, getting back to that, it would probably be a clip point hunting knife, the same one that 50 other companies have done. I mean, that.
Yeah. What do you do different? Yeah.
Right.
That's a hard one. And
yeah.
I had my my Buck 110 out the other day playing with that very thing because I
was gonna say, Tom, would it look like this?
Yeah,
it probably would.
It would have to match his pink hat though.
It's funny, RJ. We appear to have the same one, the 50th anniversary one.
Yes, we do. I love the.
All right, we're showing our bucks, are we? All right.
Yeah.
Well, this was the 50th anniversary. I told this story yesterday on when I was on Big J's live with him in Boston Blade Reviews, which was a ton of fun to do. This was really like the first collector knife that I bought as a collectible, not as a user. Something I wanted to have to save, and then probably took about another 4 or 5 years before the collecting bug really hit, where I was buying things as a collectible. But before that, everything was pretty much born or bought as a using knife.
Understood.
So yeah,
and then if you like that shape, I of course this is the one that actually was the user, was the Buck Light.
Oh yeah, I have is that the 426? Or is that the newer one?
426. Yeah, 426C.
Yeah, I have 426A. Yeah, yours is the camo scales.
Yes, sir.
And mine is I'll show you mine real quick. This is just the olive drab scales.
Yeah. I've had this one for a long time.
Oh yeah, I bought this one in the PX when I was in the service.
There you go.
So I've had this since the mid '80s. So
I probably had this one since
I have a problem. I'm dyslexic. This is my favorite Buck.
Let me bring you up.
Oh, that one designed by Chris Reeves.
Dyslexic.
Dyslexia lets you away with so much.
Remember that time Chris Reeves designed a knife for Buck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
There
it.
you go.
No,
I do not have a Chris Reeves. Someday.
neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Let me tell you, I know it's an old-fashioned knife. There's nothing of the modern in it really, but I mean, I had the Nkosi small, and it was like millimeters just too small for my hand. I got this is the 31, the new one,
The small one, yeah.
the small 31. Oh my gosh, I am in love with it. It really is just beautiful.
Yeah. I had one of those in here for review, and it is pretty fantastic.
Oh, absolutely stunning. But I mean, there's a knife there's probably 500 other knives that look very similar to this. How do you make a drop point with a handle that's sort of quite straightforward and not make it look like one of these? I mean,
Right.
it's a really generic shape now, the Chris Reeve, but it's such a good shape. Like the Buck shape, it's so good in use. It's just,
So
it's hard to get something different.
So I wanted to show a knife I got recently, and this is the perfect time to do it because you're talking about kind of a very classic shape. This is, have you guys seen this baby? This is the Quiet Carry 9.
Stunning.
I
It
have not
is.
seen it. Yeah.
This is probably the most expensive knife in my collection at this point. Had to have it after having one in here for review. Look at the milling. Oh,
Yeah.
focus camera. Just so well done. Drops like a crazy, and then you've got this very classic looking blade.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's your answer. How do you design something different? They did.
So simple yet so beautiful.
It
Yeah.
is.
Exactly.
What sort of price are they? Just while you mentioned price,
So this was $325, I believe.
well, that's not that
and
bad when you think of
There were
prices
some
now.
still left the other day, the micarta version, but and they said they're going to have another drop in April. So, really, yeah, it's very, especially in this price range, it's not very often one comes through my channel that I'm just like, forget it. I gotta get one. So I did. So there you go.
Yeah.
A lot of the thing that would make me like that more is the front part of the handle, the way they have done that carbon fiber and the milling at the top of it. That just looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's different. There's not a lot of knives that are done like that.
Yeah.
And
it's a
that
really
would be
cool
the attraction
design.
of that knife for me.
But again, other than that, Patty, this is
Yes,
a very
sim-
simple knife. I mean,
Absolutely.
it really is. And I love the way that they went ahead and gave me good lock bar access, but you can see the creativity in the lock bar there
Absolutely
that
gorgeous.
allows that to happen. And I still get good lock bar access. Just really well done.
It's the sort of knife where I would want nothing changed. That's just perfect.
Hey,
Yep.
KC, got a
Yes, sir.
question.
And by the way, it has your clip that everybody likes where it goes over
Yeah,
the end
nice.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's slick.
So, yep.
So, kind of back onto my point earlier. So many of those liner locks, I've seen right-handers have hard problem with them. Obviously, you're catering to the right-handed market, being left-handed. Only 10% of people are left-handed, like myself.
Yeah, correct.
But I find that there's times when, if I try it right-handed, I can't even open the knife because the frame is pressed down with the grip. Have you run into that before, where you?
I have a example of that in right now. Where did I put it? This is a great knife. This is the Kunwu Tau Compact. And again, on this particular, for some reason, on this particular one, I don't. Because for the most part, I'm kind of hugging that clip back here, so I can kind of do that, and I don't really. I'm not putting a lot of pressure, even when I'm middle finger flicking. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on that lock bar. For some reason, when I'm flipping this one, and by the way, this has that flipper I was showing. When I'm flipping this one, I even with the slightest little pressure on that lock bar, this now doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
I'm okay. So if I back off of that But you have to think. You have to remember. I got to stay off of that lock bar. So yes,
humor me and try that with your left hand and see how difficult it is.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't do it there either.
It ain't coming, brother. All right. So let me see if I can get it. Wow. All right. Hold on. Yeah. There you go. I can do it, but again, now you have to really think about it. So the answer to your question is yes. From time to time, there are ones that you have that problem with. Oh, and by the way, RJ, if you guys want to see the weirdest knife I've had in for review, there it is.
That is a very different design.
Yep. There is the Ontario Knife Company Epic, which is a great cutter, of course, but just weird.
Yeah, it's definitely like, let's make a folding box cutter.
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of people have liked it. It's been one that's been polarizing. You either hate it or you like it.
So I'm into like strange knives. I love the
Tesla
weirder the better.
Cybertruck feel to it.
Yeah, or somebody forgot to put the tip on it or something, or they were with the grinder and they just went whang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Let's go with that.
It almost makes me want to chisel that tip. Like I'd want to sharpen the end of it to a chisel point so that I could use it as a chisel.
Kind of like the Razel, the CRKT Razel. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do that.
Mora makes a fixed blade that's a chisel knife.
Okay. Yeah, you just have to watch the part.
Yeah, you just have to be careful with there. Yeah, that's the only problem, right? Because that would be the problem. That's probably why they didn't do that.
Yep, most likely.
Okay. RJ, could I break in for just a moment?
Yes.
I just wanted to say Mike Curtis gifted another membership on your behalf, and it was awarded to Swamp Stomper.
Oh, awesome.
Lovely.
I love that Swamp Stomper got that, because I think he's got one of the best handles out there. Swamp Stomper is a great name.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think Swamp Stomper and Singing Toad should be doing live streams together.
Hey, you know what? I'm up for that.
So Dave, how did you come up with Singing Toad?
Well, actually, it's from a TV show that existed here in Canada years ago called The Red Green Show. And
we know that one.
Yeah, and there was a part of his show where him and where Uncle Red Green and Harold would sit around a campfire, and he would sing these silly songs. There's actually there's a compilation video on YouTube. It's about an hour long that's got all of them, and the Singing Toad is in there. It was a song where he, and I'm not going to sing it, but he basically says, "Have you heard the singing toad? The toad that sang down by the road? I haven't heard the singing toad. I guess he sang too close to the road."
Nice.
So that's where I got the name from.
Great. It's a great name.
Thank you.
I really had a misspent youth. I have no clue about these children's programs.
It wasn't a children's program. It was a comedy show for adults, really.
Okay.
One more little announcement here. CB Tactical is going to be doing his 500 sub giveaway soon.
Nice. Yeah, speaking of
Congratulations, CB.
Speaking of subs and getting to that 500 mark, Wes from Doom Crew Outdoors, he just got to 500, and
congrats.
So let's keep shouting him out. Hopefully, get him closer to 1,000. So anybody that needs to have some more great knife content, especially with case knives, go ahead and check out his channel. And he's doing really good and growing, and that's fantastic. Anybody else want to shout out any channels while we're here?
Can I do a shameless self plug?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that when I get to 500, I'm giving away this knife. This is the Buck 311 Kingsman.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I'm going to be giving this knife away when I get to 500. So I'm
let
just
me
over
bring-
400. So for those of you who, I don't know how well you
Are
can see
you
it.
sure, Dave, you want to give that one away?
I already have one.
Dave, I have a question.
You know that's a buck, don't you?
Yeah, I already have one of these. So
Dave, can I ask you a question? Do you trust me?
Sure.
Good, because make me an administrator on your channel so that I can go in and delete all the other comments except for mine.
Oh, and by the way, I don't think I ever mentioned it in my video, but this knife here this is going to be open up to Canada and the United States. Okay.
Terrific.
Because it is a locking knife, unfortunately, I can't send it across seas because customs will likely stop it. But it will be open to both Canada and the United States. I did successfully send a knife down to the United States to John from JO Ventures got a knife. So, and customs was okay with that. So good. Now I did the test run. So now I can send one.
Awesome.
Very cool.
I guess that was a plug for JO Ventures as well.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's been one thing, is everybody's done a terrific job of helping everybody out. We got a lot of those channels between 400, 500, 600 that are just looking to make it over the hump over that next 100. And I think that the knife community in general online here on YouTube is just continues to grow and expand, and we keep getting new channels. And I just think it's great.
Absolutely.
I agree. And you know what? The support in this community is absolutely amazing. You know, I've made some good friends from being part of this community. You know, as I mentioned with John there, obviously present company accepted here as well. It's just been a lot of warmth received, you know, and to be in a group of like-minded folks who all, you know, doesn't matter where you're from, what we all like, anything that cuts something, we're into it.
That's right.
Oh, the only trouble is all my subs are foreigners.
You gotta have some from Ireland, don't you?
Anybody want to tackle that question? What are the limits on sending knives from the U.S. to the Great White North?
Not me.
Or I guess you're referring to sending to Canada?
I will say, if you want to watch Lefty EDC released a video the other day. I haven't gotten to watch it yet, so maybe it's terrible, but he released a video on how I send knives to Canada.
Okay.
So maybe
there
go watch
are
it.
ways around sending it. Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Speaking of which, Knives Fast, you know, I would love to get one of your knives. I know you're not sending them to Canada, but if there's ever a way, you know, I would love to get one for sure. But yeah,
I've had a lot of Canadians say that. I need to figure out how to get it done. So.
I can suggest. I know there's two major knife retailers here in Canada. You could probably reach out to. One would be Blades Canada, they're also known as Warriors and Wonders. They're out in Vancouver, and I do buy a lot of my knives from them. The other one is called House of Knives. Those are two big knife vendors here in Canada.
Okay. So
I would maybe reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to work with you, because if you're willing to ship to Canada, I would absolutely buy one from you.
Okay.
But I know there is a way to do it.
Into.
It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but you can dismantle them. So if it is like a flipper knife or something, if you dismantle it and send it as a dismantled knife, I mean, most of us knife guys know how to put a knife back together, so it's not a big deal for me, say. But obviously, someone who's not a knife person is probably going to struggle with that. But yeah, that is one way around it. The other way is sending it through like a private person. So, like, say as an example, say there was a knife I wanted that's not available in Canada, and I had, you know, you send it to me personally as opposed to like a company. It's more likely to sneak through customs that way.
Interesting. Okay.
So there are little tricks to how you can do it.
Yeah, I know
but...
Kevin acts as a proxy for a lot of people, especially in Canada, but also and I've done it once. I've successfully sent one to Australia, but he sends a bunch of them to Australia in different places. But again, it's as a private person to a private person.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. As long as you're sending it as a private thing and it's labeled as a gift, and you tell it like when I sent my knife to I sent a Groman knife down to John there. I labeled it as a woodworking tool.
Okay.
Customs looks the other way. I mean, I'm not technically lying. You can cut wood with a knife, right?
Yeah.
I find that to be such a shame that we got to worry about customs on a simple tool. I
agree with you 100%. It sucks. You know, big time sucks.
You know, I'd like to send a lot of things to a lot of people. But, you know, not only out the knife, if they confiscate the knife, then the extra postage you've paid, and nobody wins. And it just,
Yeah, and as a small company, you gotta understand, and that's why I keep telling people I can't be sending 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 knives out and having them all get confiscated. That would be pretty terrible. Yeah. So then I got to go back and refund the people's money, and it's just I wish it were easier to do. And finding a dealer seems to be the way I need to go. Same thing. I got Knife Professor out of Mexico wants to buy one of my knives as well, and it's same kind of thing. And so I've just got to figure out how to get it done.
Are we still doing this? Still talking about sentimental knives?
Yes, we
Because
are.
I still have a few more I wanted to show.
Sure.
If we were still doing that, I didn't want to step in because I've been really enjoying listening to. Forgive me, I didn't get your name. I do apologize.
Casey.
Casey,
Yeah.
sorry, I've been enjoying listening to Casey. You know, it's just fascinating to hear the business side of knife making. That's really, really awesome. But if it's okay, I just wanted to mention a couple quick knives before I forget, because I did promise I would show my grandfather's knife. So I'll go ahead and show that. So this knife here was made by my great grandfather, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, my great grandfather, I didn't really know him. He passed away when I was only a small boy. There's a couple of pictures of me with my great grandfather, sitting on his knee, but unfortunately, I don't really have any memory of him. All I know is that he served in World War II. He was in the Juno Beach landings in 1945, and as part of Operation Overlord and all that jazz. But I don't know a whole ton about him. But he did make this knife, and this knife here was willed down to me by so this is my great grandfather's knife, but my grandfather willed this to me when he passed away. Excuse me, not I. When my grandfather passed away, he gave me his father's knife, so now I have it. And this was made out of a saw blade from an old sawmill. So, and it's been hand forged out of a saw blade, and
beautifully done.
Yeah. So it is shinier now. When I got it, it was in really, really bad condition because it was left in a barn, and it was very, very rusty. And so I just buffed it, and I did very gentle restoration work to it. I am not a knife restorer at all. I do not have that God's talent that Tom from Knife Delights has, but I did the best that I could to kind of just bring it back. And but yeah, it's very, very thin. And it's got a convex grind on it, which is really, really awesome. Yeah, and it's crazy sharp after I sharpened it up, of course. I mean, it was duller than nobody's business when it came out of the rusty old barn, but yeah. So
have you got children yourself?
I do. I've got two boys, and someday one of them will inherit this one as well. It'll get passed down.
That's even nicer, yeah.
The way I look at it is I'm merely just a custodian of this. That's all I am. This will stay in the family, get passed down as years go on. And cool. I also wanted to do one more quick one here. And I don't want to keep too much of your time here, guys, because I know there's a lot of us here that have to show things. But I just wanted to quickly say I do have a Buck 110, and this one was a gift from my folks when I was in my early 20s. I thought it was like 21 or 22. I forget exactly when, but yeah, so this is also a knife of sentimental value because, again, and this kind of goes with the 119. I got the 119 from my father specifically, and then this one I got from my folks together. So kind of the two complement each other. The 119 and the 110. Is there a greater combination out of Buck? I don't know.
It's in lovely condition for a 50-year-old knife.
Well, thank you. I do my best to take care of my knives. I do try to. Wait a second. Took a second for that to click in.
He got you. He got you on that one.
I'm actually a time traveler. I'm from way in the future. I just come back.
Very nice.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, that's all I have to say about that. So thanks for listening.
I think Tom is finally ready to rejoin the show here.
Well, yeah, John said he was surprised I didn't show my grandpa's knife. So there's my grandpa's knife. I've shown it before. But the story is at the Thanksgiving table this year, my aunt reached over across the table with her fist closed. She says, "I got something to give you," and I took it from her, and this came out of her hand, and this was her father's or my grandfather's knife. So this is from like the 1940 to 1964 era, based on the Tang stamp. So I did do a refurbishing video on this one. So Yeah. Who was it here? Yeah, Mike Curtis. Family knives are the best. You're absolutely right. There's just you cannot put a value on something like this.
I agree, 100%.
Man, what a family heirloom. And
That bone
like
is
Dave
lickable.
says, I'm just a caretaker right now because
Right.
this will go on. Yep.
100%. It's the exact same way I feel.
Yeah.
Well, is anybody else ready?
We'll let you go. Here you are.
Now, this is not necessarily sentimental, but it's a knife. It's my oldest knife that has got. It's from the 1800s. I can't put it down to a date because they didn't put maker's marks on or things like that. But look at this. If you followed my channel, this was a quill knife for sharpening your quill for your pen, to make a pen out of it. And it's in stag, but look how smooth that stag is. This knife has been carried for a lot of years. It is stunning. It still has snap. Listen to this for a knife from the 1800s. It's just, I just adore this knife. Money could not buy this. That is just beautiful.
That's
great.
wonderful. Wonderful, Stephen.
Isn't that just like the one in your pocket, Tom? Because
Yeah.
Tom's been sharpening quills since he was a lad,
Oh,
scratching on papyrus and
wow.
I was
There's
wondering
no
when a
shame.
joke like that was going to come out.
No shame.
It's all in good fun. Tom knows. We all did because we care.
Something about on Big J's live, they asked me, have you tried ostrich or something, like referring to the quills, or I don't remember what bird it was. I said, I don't know. Does it taste like chicken? You know,
Oh, goodness.
If it does, it's probably been on your table, right?
probably so. Yeah.
If I'm allowed to hunt it, I'm into it.
There you go.
I'll tell a little story. We had some cityfied folks move out from Chicago back when I was in school, and one of the boys was in my grade, so I took him out pheasant hunting for his first time, and he was lucky enough, the son of gun, he hit a rooster and it went down, and I told him, run over and get it. He's like looking at me like, it's just laying there. I says, you might have just not even hit it, you might have scared it and it just dropped. Just go get it and wring its neck. And he walked over there and he kind of picked it up by the wing just a little bit. And about that time, that rooster came back to consciousness, and he was clawing everything. And just watching him with that wild rooster in his hand was funny. But his parents, because I would talk about going and shooting pigeons and eating pigeon and stuff like that, and they just couldn't believe or understand how anyone could eat a pigeon, because to them they were the birds that sat on statues and made messes, right? Although pigeon's pretty good meat. So
I'll say wild ones are quite tasty.
yeah, we had him over, had his family over for dinner one time, and Mom cooked up chicken, and I mixed in a whole bunch of pigeon with it, and they were eating it right away and talking about what good chicken it was. So
Can I just put a note? Don't go to Tom's for tea.
you don't know what you'll get.
If you wonder why the chicken wings are really small, you'll.
Yeah, that's right. They're little tiny chicken. Corny skinny man.
You just don't ask questions. Why is there shot in these anyway?
This entire bird is wings.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I couldn't leave without talking about some sentimental knives, specifically from my wonderful partners in crime here. Patty sent me a proper Barlow, for which I'll always be thankful. This is Taylor's Eyewitness. Just a wonderful knife. I love the blade shape on it. Just a wonderful knife. Great action. I just absolutely love this one. Another one I have here is, where did it go? Oh no, did I lose it? No, Tom from Knife Delights. He sent me a buck 55.
Oh, very
So I
cool.
can say I have a 55. And that was wonderful. Of course, Thrifty is he sent me a couple of great knives, but this razor trapper is definitely one that I'll treasure.
That's lovely.
This is just a really cool knife, and I don't have any other full size knives like this at all. And since he's here in the chat, Pete, Jersey Knife Guy, sent me this case trapper when I won his giveaway, and just the Caribbean blue bone is just absolutely gorgeous. So thank you again, Pete. That's awesome. And let's see. Do I have anything else that I can show real quick? I can show you. This was something else that I got from John. Was this? He got this awesome slip from Jo Ventures, so I can carry my Blue Mule sunfish, which this is still a favorite knife. So this slip definitely makes it a pocket dropper. So that I'm definitely thankful for and sentimental for, because it's two great guys. It's John and John from Jo Ventures.
It looks an awful lot like that knife Casey was showing, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah, and then CB Tactical, if he's still here, made this Kydex sheath for my sharp finger, which I still
Very nice.
love that, how that fits in there. It just makes this a perfect carry knife, and just, snaps right in there. He did a fantastic job on this one. Oh, and hey, Ken is back. Ken, I brought your Nemesis knife, this little out the front auto. Ken got one of these for Christmas and had a small incident with it. So we won't go into it, Ken. You're among friends. But let's say that sometimes these are close to spade blades too.
Oof.
But I've had
Good.
I've had some fantastic gifts from my friends here, and I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you guys in the chat room too. You guys are you're still here, and thank you. You're welcome, CB. You did a fantastic job on that. And yeah, the sharp finger is a great knife. But yeah, if you wanted to see that sunfish again, it does kind of look like the microburst in a way, because it does have that nice tall blade on it. And I do I agree with Casey that a tall blade is cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Did you copy that, Casey?
Yep, I copied it.
Oh, well, I think the patent
Lawsuit
is,
incoming.
If I copied that, then Finch did with the buffalo tooth as well.
Copyright infringement right there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the patent expired for it a long time ago.
Yeah.
I see you, Tom.
Speaking of Finch, I'm excited to see RJ check out two of them I sent to him this week. So
yes, thank you. I appreciate that so much, Casey.
Very cool.
Those Finch knives are really cool, and I appreciate you sharing with me.
I think you'll enjoy especially the Hatfield, the gun stock pattern. That is pretty well done. It is smaller than you think it is. It is. It's actually
Finch does kind of make smaller knives. That's one of the things that people complain about.
Right. Here's the sharpshooter from Jack Wolf. It's actually smaller than this. The Hatfield is smaller than the sharpshooter.
Okay.
A little bit.
Casey, do you have any connection with Finch? What is your connection with Finch?
Nothing. I've
With the fan?
basically, but they do send me knives. I've never
Okay.
made any secret about that. They've sent me knives. I give a lot of them away, and I keep some of them. But yeah, very, very much so. I've just been with them since the beginning, just like JB.
Yeah. The reason I asked was because they're from Kansas, and my wife grew up about 15 minutes from where they
Yeah, they're in
located.
Stillwell there.
So, yeah.
So yeah. I have not gotten to meet him in person, but I talk to him all the time, and just really good dudes trying to do the same kind of thing I'm trying to do. So it's same thing. Ben from Jack Wolf and I became friends at Blade Show 2 years ago, and we talk all the time. And Kevin left EDC, even though we're completely different people. We talk all the time. We're good buddies, and we have a good time together. So same kind of thing.
But I'm sure each of you help each other with the
100.
pitfalls of getting into this, and that's got to be such money can't buy that.
100% correct. I mean, there's and I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I do a live stream on Monday nights, and I've been having a lot of designers on lately. I had Dirk Pinkerton on, Sean from Tepe Designs on. This past week I had Sharif Manganas that made the Kubi Momentum and the Ruckus, and I've had all kinds of designers on, just doing exactly what you're saying, Patty, trying to make relationships and also just learn from people. It's just and it helps everybody. I mean, it's what works and what doesn't, and every one of us comes apart about it a little bit differently. So it makes it interesting.
So you wanted to show a knife there, Tom?
Oh, Zen was just saying something about you need a sharp finger, so here you go. Here's a sharp finger.
Awesome.
Oh, I knew there was something I meant to talk about. Does any of you have any of the Marbles fixed blades? I just found one in a company over here, which is unusual, and it's the Marbles Jet Pilot knife. Have you seen it? It's like a Bowie, like a wooden handled Bowie Jet Pilot's knife, and it looks amazing. It's only about £33, but it comes in a leather sheath, and the steel's probably $4.20. But in that sort of a fighting knife, what would you care what the blade steel is?
Well, that's true.
But yeah, I think I'm going to get that. I think it's nicer than the buck, so I'm going to try it first.
Okay. That sounds good. What's that, Tom? Did you have a problem there?
Patty told a funny. He told a funny.
Those are fighting words.
He thought that was going to slip by, but I caught you, Patty.
That's interesting.
This is my one Marbles fixed blade, and it was, it's a budget bird and trout knife. It'll cost around $11 or $12 at the time. The reason I did it is because bought this is because Marbles was the first company to come out with the stacked leather hunting knife. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that came out with the classic, what we call the classic hunting knife design. It was called the Ideal knife, although it had a round pommel. And every cutler around the world back in the early 1900s copied their knife. So whenever you see a traditional hunting knife, even though it has this bird's head pommel and stuff, this basic design all evolved from the Marbles Ideal knife.
That Marbles knife I was talking about, Tom, it's got a stacked leather handle, not wood. It has a stacked leather. And for £33, it's a beautiful looking knife. So I'm going to get that knife.
This, for a $12 knife or something, this is a really nice little bird and trout knife. Yeah.
One that reminds me of that is this guy that I have in from Uncle Henry. This is the Golden Spike. Quite a bit bigger than that one you're holding, Tom, but that same kind of design aesthetic, if you will.
Right.
Yep. But with Stagalon in this case.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those Uncle Henry knives. They're really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm going down that rabbit hole of small fixed blades, which I'll probably never use other than around the house.
Right.
But I'm going to try.
Yeah, I think I've gone that way too. Because I don't really carry a fixed blade outside of the house. Maybe if I was to go camping or something, I would. But
here's a small fixed blade.
Oh,
and they're
okay.
lovely.
Yeah, that
Well,
is a small one.
There you go. Those are cool. I have one of those. somewhere.
Do they get any smaller than that? I don't know.
Oh,
Yes, it
probably.
does. So be careful, Stephen. Don't let your friends get you into small fixed blades. This is the LT Wright daily
Oh.
carry, and a friend of
Nice.
mine sent one in for review, and I immediately had to get one. They dropped at DLT Trading. This is the Black Micarta and Magna Cut.
Magna Cut. Wow.
Yeah, so
That's slick.
fantastic knife. It's a little thicker than, let's say, a Bark River Bushcraft Scout or something, but it's still very, very sharp and slicey. And look at that, perfect in the hand.
Absolutely lovely.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen some
Yeah, I have
testing
an
done on
LT,
Magna
right?
Cut. It's impressive steel.
Yep.
Nice
So, yeah.
sheet with it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, when he told me they dropped, I'm like, okay, I'm sold. So I went and got one right before they sold out. So
Yes, that is so cool.
Yeah, I've got the smaller little LT Wright. This is the Frontier.
Yep.
It's beautiful. And I've actually got it in a little sheath now, this lovely leather sheath. And I just put it in my pocket in that, and it's
That's
absolutely
awesome.
perfect in the pocket. So, yes, I'm getting there eventually.
That's awesome.
I've got a lot of the small fixed blades like this here, the CRKT Mossback here. And this is the small hunter. And they also have the bird and trout knife, which basically looks very similar to this. But yeah, I mean, this was a $30 knife.
Yeah.
Pretty decent little knife there. But boy, yeah, you can go down the rabbit hole just on fixed blades.
You can.
Small ones, yeah.
All right, John, let me go back to you. I saw you had a knife also.
Yeah, I think I got you all beat for the smallest fixed blade.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they do make something smaller.
Now that's one of the original Alamo buoys, right?
Yeah, sure. That's like a little colonial souvenir knife. So it is a legit company. It's not just some generic thing.
Yeah. Right.
I see Rough Rider do some of them, don't they? Wee small knives. They got the buoys and all, but they're only about 3 inches long.
Yeah, they're about as big as a quarter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, I should tell you, my oldest son and you could be great friends with that shirt on. He's a huge Manchester City fan. So,
yeah.
Yep. That's all he talks about. So
Weirdos.
Somehow I knew that was going to elicit something. I don't know.
My
it's
wife's
a
folks are from
girls' game,
Manchester.
isn't it?
Girls'
Girls.
Wow.
My wife's folks are from
Pansies
Manchester.
that roll about the ground screaming.
Oh, I said they're Man United fans.
Yeah, they're all footballers. You should have watched Ireland winning the Six Nations yesterday. That's a game.
Yeah, I watch rugby when I see they don't show it much here, so that's the problem.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
you play American football too. It's not very butch. They're just people like Tommy like dressing up.
Well, you know what I've noticed about rugby
I
is
didn't hear anything. What?
there's always a Goliath on one team, right? And then there's all the other guys, and they all are scared to death of the guy.
Right.
Yeah. I was a little winger. I got mauled every game.
Yeah, so you were the one that ran away when the big guy came coming.
Or handed him the ball, stepped to the side.
Yeah, take it.
Awesome.
No, but I do enjoy
Mom is
soccer.
back on topic here.
Okay, yes, I stay on topic. I'm trying to be very professional on
Yes.
the show, okay?
Try to be a good example for him, Tom.
I'm trying. I'm
Is Jamie coming back?
trying very hard.
trying.
Now, Mrs. Knife Delights just says I'm trying, but that's another story. This is in honor of Singing Toad. This is a they call it first responder or first knife. I think this comes out of Canada. Stuart Harvey sent this to me. I think this is called the Viper. But this is an interesting knife, and I like it because it's got this bridge right up here. and
Neat.
it was kind of designed for first responders because, and I did a video on this where I tested it out. I put soap on my gloves and everything to make my hands slick. Wore thick leather gloves, tried to pull it, out of my cargo pocket as a first responder would probably carry it there. And I tell you what, with that little bridge right there, you can really get your thumb right up under there. So even
I
if
see
you're
what you mean, yeah.
in the middle of cold weather and you got thick gloves on, or
Yeah, that's a really neat design.
or if you're, at a scene and you got gloves on, if you're dealing with someone that's bleeding, blood is extremely slippery. So to be able to have a knife kind of like this, so easy to open, and then it's got kind of the checkering there, for extra grip. So I just thought I'd show that to you. That's kind of a neat
That is
design.
really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm unfamiliar with that brand. I'm sad to say I've never heard of that brand, but
It's first. I'll try to get the box. But like I said, I believe they're out of Canada. So yeah. First Tactical is, I think, the name of the company. And it's a liner lock.
and you can see the jimping on the liner is pretty aggressive too, so that'd be easy to actuate with a glove on as well.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But that little bridge, boy, you can just catch your thumb right on it and pull it up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of Stuart Harvey and our neighbors to the north, he sent me a knife. I have to get a review on this one too, and this is a Canadian belt knife. So he got this one up at Canadian Tires. This is the Hunt Shield, and talk about a classic.
Very pretty
design.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
that's gorgeous.
very much so. Yeah, I love the wooden handle. Got some nice figure in the wood. Yep. So there will be a video coming up on this knife.
Well, we're talking about Canadian belt knives.
Yeah, let me get off of here and put you up. Is that the actual Groman?
That's the Groman. Stamped Canada right on the blade there.
Oh, nice.
So I'll see if I can.
So the country signed it?
Yeah, we all got together, and all 37 of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
is that the ones that are north of our most southern or northern border there? Like Zen says, 50% of all Canadians live south of our northernmost border. I think he's talking about all the ones that are in South Detroit. But
well, it is true that the majority of the Canadian population is right along the American border.
Yeah, that is true.
We're desperately trying to get into your countries. We're trying to. Believe me, there's days I wish I could.
Well, I guess the closer you are, the easier it is to hop over.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. I just want to get to White Castle. That's all it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you guys have to go to our southernmost border to get in easier. But
no, you just get a proxy and he sends you over.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay. We'll have to ask
in pieces, right, Patty?
Right.
With just a symbol.
You got to disassemble us. We're all robots, actually. We just come apart.
We call it delimbing.
Oh,
this sounds painful, actually.
It does. It sounds very painful. Not a fun process.
Not sure I want to go now.
Yeah, I stay where I'm at.
Oh dear.
Goodness.
And Zen says the overwhelming population of Canada is a stone's throw, but I guess that would depend on how many stone the average Canadian is. On whether you can throw them or not.
Oh goodness.
I weigh 15 stone. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's true. That's my true weight.
Okay.
Well, I had to give up.
Stones calibrated is what I want to know.
You have to go to Google and do the conversion to figure how many pounds that is. But
okay,
that's how much I weigh. I'll leave it at that.
I had to give up throwing horseshoes. I just can't pick that horse up anymore.
Oh, at least you're throwing 4 of them at a time.
Did you? Yeah.
When you throw a horse, you do. Yeah. All right. Does anybody else have anything? I think I don't know if we do. If we're not, we might as well say we've been going here for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. And the last ranger says he weighs 1 boulder.
It's the spaghetti by the bucket, Gary.
It'll get you. It'll get you. It sneaks up
by the
on
gallon. I mean, whatever it is.
you. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There was one thing I wanted to show.
Sure.
At the start of this stream, someone asked a question. I forget who it was in the comments if we had any new knives to show, and I did say I do have a new knife to show. And I said I might show it in this stream. So I forget who that individual was. I do apologize, but I'm going to show it right now. I finally got my hands on a Stockman. So I actually have my very first Stockman.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's by the greatest knife company on earth, known as Buck.
There
Hey,
you go.
So that is a
fuck,
Buck
wait a
303,
minute.
folks.
Yep.
I have a
Turn it
Buck-
off.
I have a Buck 303 Stockman, and I will be putting a video up on my channel showing a full review of this knife. So I just wanted to quickly answer that question. I did remember seeing it, and I just wanted to reply to that.
Very nice.
thanks,
Very
Dave.
nice
Don't tell
indeed.
Patty I paid you to say that.
Well, for what it's worth, I truly like Buck knives as well. They're like my top, like of my 3 favorite brands. Buck's like number 1.
Oh, get out of here. We can't have crawlers on this show.
Spyderco's the second close to it. That's-
I'm forming a coup against you, Patty.
Yeah. I'm going to get Trump back in. He'll build a fence.
To keep me out of Ireland.
It's okay. Tom can't swim. He'll never get to you.
Oh no.
Hey, I was in the Navy. I can swim.
Goodness.
It gets a little crazy sometimes, Casey. What can I
Yeah.
say? Can you see
Yeah.
how hard it is for me to wrangle all these guys?
I don't know how you do it, man. I usually only have like 2 or 3 people on mine, so I can usually handle it. With all these people, I don't know how you do it, man.
Casey,
I'm
he
a good
charges us all
multitasker.
$50.
Oh,
He
Christ.
charges us $50 to come in and then deducts when you behave badly. I've never got anything back.
and for me,
Yeah.
that's like $100 with the exchange rate.
Oh no.
And Casey, I have to pay him to be his producer.
Oh, nice.
It's a
That's
good deal if you can get it. You got to have a good. You have to have a good attorney
There you go.
when you write up the papers.
That does.
Casey,
sound like
it's
a good
lovely
deal.
to meet you face to face, and I wish you every success in
Same
your
to all
knife
you
venture.
guys.
It's a very brave thing to do, and I
Mhm.
genuinely wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Appreciate
I'll
it.
echo that.
We're all
Also
very
to say
impressed.
I always admire the entrepreneur and those craftsmen that can make things with their hands or come up with the ideas and put them into motion. So good on you. That's very great.
Thank you very
It's
much. I
super
appreciate
awesome
that.
to be on a panel with an actual knife maker. You know,
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's an honor. You know,
Nothing special. It's okay. just trying things, but I appreciate
Well,
that very much.
It's like
Well, and
a-
you're much nicer than I thought.
It's getting good in here. Did Manufacturing pay you? I don't know. It's because he's always picking. He's always picking on me.
Yeah,
He's just
Maddie-
trying to sweet talk
Maddie
you into
was
sending
here.
knives to Ireland.
There you go.
Yep, Maddie was here. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but
Who
yeah.
knows?
No, we all have a lot of respect and admiration for you, Casey.
I
We-
appreciate that. Thank
we
you.
really do.
Very
No,
nice
and
meeting you, Casey.
I do too. I enjoy watching all you guys, and this is fun for me on Sunday. Usually I'm running a dozen errands, which I've got to go do right after this.
Right.
Got to run to the trash dump and go pick up some air filters and those kinds of things. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's usually what I'm doing is driving around listening to you guys. So
Yeah,
Well, we
appreciate
appreciate
that.
you taking time out and joining us. It was
absolutely.
very nice of you.
You never say that to me.
Only
What
every
the hell's
show.
going on here?
He
Don't-
found out he found out that I have like 6 or 7 buck knives, so he's being nicer to me.
You're
Patty,
part of the
when I
club.
talk to somebody, I have to be sincere to them. And you would not want me to be sincere with you.
There you go.
Tell us how you really feel.
Don't I wish you had more friends?
Yeah, there you go. Twang thing. You hit it right on the head.
There you go.
Oh, yes.
Patty, my man, I love you.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
dear.
He said
Right.
he loves you every single stone and pebble.
That's
I don't know what that all means, but okay, we'll go with it.
I think he's talking about stones because he's building a stone wall around his caravan for when I come to visit him in Ireland.
Electrified fence, thank you.
There you go.
I can just picture it being like the Monty Python video where he's got his helmet on. He's like topping his helmet, spitting at you.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh.
get out of here, you lot.
We all love you, Patty.
John, help us out here. Come on, John, join the
I was going to
mutiny.
ask Patty, what's the name of the fellow that you do your stream with that helps you out?
Justin,
Justin. Why don't you have him
Yeah.
come on?
Yeah.
come on here.
Yeah.
He would actually love to. He's
Oh,
a
that'd be
really nice.
wonderful.
He's a really nice fellow. Not really, but I can't say it. He's all right. He's a nice fella.
He loves the show, so
I
it's
only
okay.
have him on my show because he's a technical wizard. He does
Ah.
all the. I don't even read comments. I
Oh.
can't do 2 things at once.
Stephen, what we'll have him do is we'll have him come on. Since he's the technical guy, he can kick RJ off, and then we'll have a really good show.
Oh, Tom, that hurts my heart. That hurts my heart.
Don't tell me I hurt your feelings because I know you don't have any feelings.
Yeah. Well, if I had any feelings, they'd be hurt.
Oh boy.
I'd be happy to ask Justin. He would enjoy this now. He would.
It would be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it'd be great to have him on. Let's see if we can get
Tell
him
me
on
which
next
week so I don't have to step out.
How about next week? We'll do it next week. How's that?
Next week. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask him and I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, just
Yeah.
PM me, DM me, just don't BM me, and we'll be okay.
I can't believe it. I've been calling that same thing for 6 years and haven't clue got it wrong.
Oh,
I was
goodness.
telling everybody to PM me.
Oh boy.
Well, I want
Yeah, better
to
than
thank
being.
everybody that showed up to watch this. We had a fantastic discussion there in the comments. Another great panel you put together there, RJ. Of course,
Well,
one
thank
of us shines more than others. I won't say which one, Patty. But anyway, it's been a great time. Thanks for a great show and a great time, everybody.
I want to second that notion as well. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you everyone who tuned
Absolutely.
in.
And thanks for
Appreciate
having me,
that.
RJ.
Oh,
Thank you. Yes,
you
very
are
much.
welcome. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat, everybody that is going to watch the replay of this. We had our special viewer, Katie. I'm so glad that she's enjoying our show.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic to get people into the knife hobby. And yes, I hope you saw Twang Thang's comment, Tom.
Don't say. Don't.
That's what I was saying. I'm afraid if I shaved, I'd probably lose half my subs right there.
Probably.
And you won't be able to hang out with ZZ Top anymore.
Hey,
That's true.
one last reminder before everyone exits out. Smash that like button and subscribe. Subscribe to every channel up here. And maybe you want to think about RJ, you're subscribing to him if you haven't. But anyway, thanks again, everybody.
Yeah, definitely hit the bell and make sure you get notified whenever this show is going to happen, and hopefully you'll want to watch it.
There you go.
All right, guys.
Right.
We'll go ahead and wrap
Everybody,
things
thank
up
you
on
so
this.
much,
I
everybody.
appreciate
Lovely meeting you.
everybody. Yep, fantastic. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you all have a great week. We'll see you then.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Singing Toad signing out.